speaker is Taiwo Fajolu. Taiwo Fajolu is the MD of HSL Consulting, an author and business consultant with hands-on training experience through a World Bank group-led project. A cognate corporate trainer with a passionate interest in innovation, growth, leadership, and creative entrepreneurship. He's been involved in training for the state and federal governments on different projects. He invented vacuum analysis, competence development, and workplace complexity management technique. He helps revitalize troubled businesses, especially SMEs, through enterprise transformation, and was the lead consultant in facilitating the partnership of a Europe leader in UPS, New Wave Energy, now a member of ABB Group with the Nigerian partner. Let us welcome Mr. Taiwo Fajolu.
Welcome, sir.
All right. Good morning. It's exciting to be here today. I'm well excited. I hope you are.
Yes.
Yes, I enjoyed the last presentation by the commissioner. Fantastic presentation. Awesome. Awesome. I hope other people learned a lot. All right, so let me just jump into it quickly. Again, my name is Taiwo Fajolu, and we're speaking on reimagining youth skills post-pandemic. So if you're ready for it, say yes, 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 yes. If you're ready for it, say yes. Let me see your yes.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate OCI and all the team for inviting me. I do not take it for granted at all. So we're going to be speaking, looking at it from the goal, reimagining youth skills post-pandemic. Now, when you talk about reimagining, you expected that your thinking faculty, imagining, not even to mention reimagining, your creative faculty, your thinking faculty is expected to be engaged here. And then youth, you identify the scope, your person, who you are, and then you're going to be engaged in skills. And then post-pandemic, which is new normal, a lot of things changing, paradigm shift, changing in the movement of things, of culture, of lifestyle, of technology, of career. A lot of things is changing. All right, so okay. I don't intend to, are we together?
Yes, sir.
I don't intend to finish my slide. Whenever we stop, we will stop. But I believe we will learn one or two things. So I said, cogito ergo sum. Anybody have heard this before? If you've heard it before, say yes. Cogito ergo sum. Who said it? If you've heard it before, say yes.
You can drop in the comments in the chat section.
Okay, okay, yes. All right, so who said it? Who said it? Who said it? Whose word is that?
That should be Descartes.
God bless you. That's René Descartes said cogito ergo sum, because I think, therefore I am. So thinking is engaged in also arrive at a good destination here. I mean, and the need for us to consider what to be doing in life is basically existential as well, post-pandemic. And so, like William Blake says, what is now proved was once imagined. Think of it. What is now proved? I mean, what we have established now, the businesses that we have now, they were once in the creative faculty of someone. They were sitting in an idea form of someone. And they have to move that idea, create a concept paper around it, create a working plan around it, and establish it as a commercial business. So, in the concern of thinking, you have to think positively. You have to think in a system thinking way. Think positively. Don't think like Al-Qaeda. Don't think like the ISIS. No, think positively to make positive impacts in human lives, in the community, in the society. Then think in a system thinking way that is targeted towards a goal. Think in a system thinking way that is targeted towards a goal. Then thirdly, think disruptively. You have to think disruptively because post-pandemic is a disruptive arena. It's a disruptive time where a lot of things is changing. Status quo is being challenged. So you need to get involved in that. And then the second word here is man, know thyself. Socrates said that man, know thyself. And this is a call for self-identification, which is critical to us becoming anything great in life. You need to know who you are. You need to know who you are. You need to come to that realization of what you want to do with your life. You want to go the career way, you want to go the entrepreneurial way, or you want to balance the two together. So you need to know yourself. And until you know yourself, you'll be able to achieve much in life. And then, just like the previous speakers said, you need to do a short analysis of yourself. I mean, what are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and the threats that can challenge your advantage. Now, let me quickly break down to you, the work age life, so that you know that there's no time. Are we still together? There's no time. What the work age, I'm not between age 20 and 70, God willing that you live that long. Age 20 and 70. So you have 50 active years to work. So when you are age 20, you start work, assumably. So between age 20 and 30, you would have used 20% of your work life. Once you are 35, you have used 30% of your work life. Once you are hitting 40, you have used 40% of your work life. And so you don't have the time. You need to start and crack the ball right away now. Just like I wrote in my first book, cracking in the code of opportunities in business. You need to crack the code of understanding what you want to do now. You need to do that right away and then move on to start planning how to achieve it. Now, I'm going to speak quickly regarding this thinking thing, the imagining and reimagining things on 5 minds. Dr. Joan Miniger, in her work, Make Your Mind Work for You, described a 5 mind called E-work, just like email. E, then W-O-R-K. The E is the executive mind. The executive mind take the decision for the rest of the mind. It puts in shape all the faculties of other mind. It brings to reality what other minds want to do. It's like the chairman CEO of a board. So that is your executive mind. That is the mind that helps you to be able to take precise decision and take decision quickly. You find this more prominent in execution-oriented leaders. They cannot afford to waste time. They're not the kind of people that you drop document in front of them and it will take 2 weeks. Then the next one is W, the wandering mind. I will come back to it because that's where I will explain a bit of things. Then the other one is the organizing mind. The organizing mind organizes our thoughts, our processes. It helps us to understand, the things that we need to do and give the executive mind the information that is needed to work on. It subscribes us to the rule made by our executive mind, either consciously or unconsciously. Then the next one is our reacting mind, our emotional, sensible, feeling part of us. They are very critical to our success. Just like it was very critical to Bill Clinton, the 42nd president of the United States, success. They could have a meeting with a group of executives now. And then by the time it comes out, it will just come out and ask a janitor, what do you think about this? And whatever the janitor says, he empathizes with what the executive says, and that can inform his next decision. So our reactive mind goes a long way to decide who we are. Then we have the knowing mind. Without the knowing mind, we will live in information voidness. We live in a sensory and information voidness. It's one that gathers data, more the sensory part of us, and analyze it, presenting it to the organizing mind, to be able to work flow with us. Now, when you look at all this, the wandering mind is the creative faculty that will help you to be able to create new things. And you can't take it for granted. It's so critical. You cannot take it for granted. So you have to allow yourself that freedom. You need to allow yourself that freedom to be able to operate in a creative mode, to be able to create things. It's very, very important. Very, very, very important. My next slide says, take nothing for granted. Show people the purpose of your craft. Take nothing for granted. Show people the purpose of your craft. Don't postpone taking actions. Don't postpone taking action towards new thinking and progress. Don't forget, whatever is now proved that you have now were once imagined. And imagination has not come to an end. We are still waiting for yours. We are still waiting for yours. I thought of it few years ago to do a serious technology disruptive book that will inform Africa and Africans how to go about this disruptive technology, create a framework that will help them to be able to engage. And I make a concept paper around it. I developed a work plan around it. I decided that I wanted to be endorsed by a group of people. It was endorsed by 20 leaders in the innovative and growth sector. I intended that one of the tech icon in the fintech industry in Africa, Michel Lelegwe, will write the foreword. And I got him to write the foreword. So once you set up on that idea, be ready to move with it. Be ready to move with it. And so what is the advantage that you might have as a person? You know, what advantage do you have when you look at Africa as it is? I like to view, you know, majorly the African perspective so that you are not reduced to any part of Africa's thermometric move. For instance, Nigeria or in Mali or in Kenya. You have the limitless opportunity across the globe. But I look at the perspective in Africa more. And so, are very critical concerning what advantage you have in Africa, as it were. You know, we are in an exciting time in Africa. 1.3 billion people, 16% of the global population is in Africa now, which is 19 of the top fastest growing country population-wise. The African continent is demographically young. And that is why we are talking to you now, the youth. 60% of the population will be under 24 by 2025. Africa is experiencing rapid urbanization. In 4 years' time, about 45% of all Africans will be living in a city, especially in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Angola, and probably in Morocco. They will see more proportion of their movement to the cities. And by 2050, if you are 20 years now, by the time you are 50 years old, 800 million more Africans will have moved to urban areas. So, and then this Africa's demographic boom will fuel consumption. The population of the working age will rise tremendously and create increase in purchasing power. And by 2030, just barely 10 years from now, we'll be home to 1.7 billion consumers with total consumer expenditure of $2.5 trillion. $2.5 trillion. Now, what can you do to be able to be part of this chunk of creating what will be consumed in Africa? What can you do? So you take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. And it's so critical. Okay. Okay, and the world is flat. What do I mean by the world is flat? Have you heard the word before that the world is flat? Have you heard the word before? Can you unmute yourself? Say yes. The world is flat. Have you heard it before? Say yes. Unmute and say yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes?
Yes.
So the world is flat. So what made the word flat? The word was conceived by Friedman, who proposes in his work, the world is flat, of 3 stages of globalization. Globalization 1.0, which shrank the world from size large to medium, and it's about the brain and muscle of countries with their horsepower, their wind power, their steam power, and how they creatively deploy them. Globalization 2.0 shrank the world from size medium to size small, which was propelled by 2 things: industrial revolution and the expansion of the Dutch and the English joint stock companies, creating multinational corporations that went global for market and labor. And the one that concerns us really is globalization 3.0, which is the new era of the 21st century, shrinking the world from size small to size tiny. The world has been shrunk from size small to size tiny, and then flattening the playing field at the same time. And the unique force of this is the newfound power for individuals to collaborate and compete globally. So nothing is really stopping you from your ability to be able to to collaborate and then compete globally. So the email and the internet have helped to shrunk the world so that businesses of all sizes can attract global customers. There are a lot of people that are doing a lot of things now. If I don't let go too far, OCI, probably some of the members of the team in OCI are living in different parts of the world. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You're right.
Yes. So OCI as a group is impacting the world, leveraging on email, on internet, and being competitive enough to deliver their task. So nothing is really stopping you. I'm speaking for Nigeria. Another person might be speaking from another part of the world. Some leader of the team are in the US or maybe Canada. You have from different part of the world. So the efficiency of, so you look at the efficiency of order entry, inventory control, and supply chain integration, make it more cost effective to do business in many areas. Modern technology has significantly hastened the rate at which we can create letters, documents, notes, and voice communication. We shouldn't forget marketing. Databases keep track of customer desires, past purchases, and even what customers look at on the website. One day, my wife was talking about, one particular food. And while we were talking about it, something just popped up on her phone and was trying to market exactly what we were just talking about. How did that happen? How is that possible? Somebody is collecting database of these desires. It's not hocus pocus. It's not voodoo. Neither is it magic. Somebody is gathering data of customer desires, past purchases, and they're putting it together. And then algorithm can then generate lists of similar or similar products and services, creating a more robust experience and relationship with the client. So if we see the modern business with its countless organs and constituents as a human body, then information flow is equivalent to the blood and oxygen supply. This is as important as it can have. It's so critical. Remember, I mentioned that time when we say cogito ergo sum about system thinking. Anyone want to define what system thinking is? System thinking. Anyone? What do you understand by system thinking? You can put your answer in the chat. System thinking. You can unmute and say it. System thinking. Quickly, we have more time. Anyone? Anyone? System thinking.
Let me try, sir. System thinking.
All right, go ahead.
We can explain it as a complex structure where a part is connected to a whole. Okay, and so everything is interconnected such that one part leads to another. Interrelation.
That's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I agree with you in a lot of ways. I agree with you really with you. Okay, somebody else says system thinking is a holistic approach to analysis that focuses on the way that the system constituent parts interrelate and how systems work over the time and within the context of a larger system. Awesome answer. So the discipline, system thinking is the discipline that integrates other disciplines along with other definitions that we've heard. It integrates other disciplines, fusing them into a coherent body of theory and practice. Putting them into a current system of, operation. System, what's a process system? A process or organization by which things are done. For instance, like I said, when you think in a system thinking way, you're targeted towards a goal. Let's look at the example of Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Now, they were basically hobbies when they started out. Bill Gates was still in school. And so Paul Allen was already working. And so they have this thing that they wanted to do. But the first person, Ed Robert, was the first person to create what looked like the first microcomputer, the Altair 8800, which was worked on the Intel 8000. But Ed Robert didn't develop much on it. And these guys worked on how to create a computer language using the Altair 8800. They did not even have time to test it before they sold it to Ed Robert again, and they had their first customer. It was later they now start thinking about business plan. They had their first customer. They also did something for Apple, for the Apple II. And then they also did something for IBM. And they began to grow and grow and grow like that. Because they were able to think in a system way, they were able to achieve that much. So before we go, we have two things you have to look at, basically, when it comes to system. There is a simple system, there's a complicated system, and the complex system. Simple system contain few interactions and are extremely predictable, e.g. switching the light on and off. It's a simple system, the same action produces the same result every time. And you can do little with that. Complicated systems have many moving parts. And then it operates in a pattern way. It's usually, there are many interactions within it, but usually follow a predictable pattern. So you can accurately predict the behavior of the element in a complicated system. For instance, the commercial airplane. Commercial airplane involves complicated but predictable steps, and that is why it's been very safe. And then there is complex systems, which are filled with features that may operate in patterned ways, but the interactions are continually changing. So the starting condition of a complex system might not give the same output. And so when you want to engage in this kind of thinking, you consider the interactions, and then the life of humans and our enterprise is basically like nature. Like when the cloud gathers, the sky darkens, the leaf twists and turns upward. And when the rain starts, the sky grows clear again. These functions within each other in this course of nature are being driven by things that we don't see. The same way the invisible fabric of interrelated actions determine what we do, especially when you begin to think in a system way. So the next slide, the digital age is here. If you agree with me, say yes. The digital age is here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Digital age is here. And my first book, I created something was mentioned earlier called vacuum analysis. Vacuum analysis basically is to expose our thinking towards creating a strategy for competence management, so that at every time you look at what is the emptiness you create per time in the place you are being put in your deliverables. What is the impact you are making in such a way that when you are pulled out of it, the influence of your capacity, your mental capacity, your agility, your knowing, how do you bring it to bear in the functions that you are engaging in? So that is what vacuum analysis talks about. And then we are in the speed, we are in the era of change, the speed in the era of change. Everything is moving so fast. And you must be able to maneuver easily. Maneuverability is a critical factor. It is a critical factor in war. And everyone who is in business, who intends to go into business, you must create your operation in such a way you are able to move yourself or your people in a very flexible manner. So indeed, if something happened to your team or the location where you're working, because you have your team and their brain, you should be able to come up on your feet within the next few days. That is maneuverability. It is very, very key to this age. The power of complementary skill is very, very key as well. Sometimes, as it is now, actually in the new normal, you cannot rely on the skill that you have known before. You have to retool yourself. You have to consider things that you do not consider before that is relevant to you moving forward. For instance, if you are a tech guy and you have to go for a particular leadership post, you will need more than just being a tech guy or a tech manual to get into that position. You have to understand communication. You have to understand leadership. You have to understand customer care. You have to understand markets. You have to understand a lot of analysis to be able to survive in the terrain that you have been brought to. The same thing happens to us here. And then, just like Peter Drucker said, the unexpected success in innovation. Imagine, I mean, when I hosted my last webinar, I invited the pioneer VP of sales of Flutterwave. Now, Flutterwave market value now is $1 billion upward. But when Flutterwave started, barely 3 or 5 years ago, Moses told us there that their target was even to hit a benchmark of $4 million transactions in that year. But guess what? The unexpected success innovation happened because they made themselves available in the fintech world. They hit $1 billion transaction that year. And that gave them the agility to proceed in what they are doing now. So you really have to be on ground. You cannot afford to hold on to yourself and not be on ground. And one thing that is very critical to us is solving problems, turning problem to business proposition. The commonest available material today for idea conceptualization is problem. Do you agree with me? If you agree with me, say yes, 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 yes.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
It's problem. And that is what we have in common. Jean-Jacques Rousseau said that man is free, but we are in everywhere found in chains. So your proposition is to create solution to break that chain. And so imagine a lady, let's say, imagine Miranda started a business of recycling the plastic waste from the rubbish in Lagos or in any other part of the world. And then from that, she created toys from those plastics. Very soon, she can conduct children workshop on creativity or boot camp. Then she can turn the toys to character and weave a fiction stories around it for comics or short story book for children. So she's creating chains of value. She can develop a movie or TV program from it. She can set up a merchandise store, selling online and on-site. She can also publish a book about the success of her model, become an author like me. So you can understand from one point of creativity how value chains are being created. So you need to operate in that dimension. So the approach to entrepreneurship comes highly recommended here. And 3 basic things that you need. 1 is an idea. 2 is the desire to learn and adapt. I mean, it is an existential call to be able to adapt and adapt fast in the fast-moving world. Then the ability to take action. A lot of people have been idle. Their entrepreneurial engine have remained in idling mode. You need to move it away from the idling mode and take the first step. You need to move. You need to take the first step and move. You need to take the first step and move. But also remember that there is a difference between output and product. Don't go and create an output that will not serve as a product. To create a product, you must factor in the economic value. Product is the end of a full value chain proposition. It is what the consumer is willing and able to buy. What the consumer is willing and able to buy. So you begin to ask yourself this question: is your idea bankable? Can you spend your own money to buy your product? What is your idea about? Under what circumstances can your idea be used? Who needs your idea? Why is your idea needed? Why would anyone want to pay for your idea? Ask yourself this critical question. Why would anyone want to pay for your idea? And the fact that your idea is in an hazy, unclear state now doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. You can make more research or find a consultant to help you until you reach and arrive at your goal. The difference between idea and notion. Idea has a concept towards it. Notion are just mere gist that doesn't amount to anything. So in following your idea through from concept to reality, you must aim at a high standard. You cannot afford to be careless. You must close up on the tendency for error. You must close up on the tendency for error. Ideas, again, are like Las Vegas casino chip, which are used in exchange for cash. Imagine if Paystack had not started 5 or 6 years ago. I remember in 6 years when they did the alpha test among the team, and then they pushed a few months after for the beta test. And soon they launched. And within that time, Stripe did an acquisition of them. And so you have Stripe, Paystack in Nigeria now. And the company is worth $200 million. That is the value market capitalization of 3 of Nigerian banks. 3 of Nigerian banks. 2 of them with national authorization and 1 with international authorization, that's FCMB. In fact, the valuation of InterSwitch, Paystack, and Flutterwave amounts to 2/3 of Nigerian commercial banks that have national authorization and 1/4 of the ones with international authorization today. So imagine if they did not start. You need to start, and you need to start now. You need to get the concept going. You need to keep moving. I mean, when I was going to work on my book, I had a discussion with the founder and the group MD of InterSwitch, Mitchell Edebe. And he said that don't bother on trying to go past the Euro-American world. Just look for a problem that you can create a solution driven by disruptive technology and innovation to solve, and you will be in business. If you agree with that, say yes or no. If you agree with that, say yes or no. If you agree with that, say yes or no. If you agree with that, say yes or no. Yes. Because once you find something that you can develop a solution for, and then it be made easier now. Cloud computing are making it easier now. APIs are being created, open source, even the ones that are closed, you can buy them off the shelf. The one that you not buy off shelf, cloud, helps you to be able to do it in an efficiency and a cost-effective way. And you'll be in business. You only need to start. And genuinely smart and enduring ideas find a way of sticking, evolving, and adapting. So quickly, you have to make customer the center of your innovation. You have to be innovation driven. it is an existential call to be innovation driven in the world of today. It is an existential call. You know what the existential says? Existence precedes essence. So it is an existential call for you to go the innovation, the disruptive innovation line. And there are a lot of things that have been established already that you can find something out of what is existing and then create your own and engage it with serious innovation, and you will be in business. You will be in business. So for products and services, user-centered design generate more relevant, usable, and useful products and services. The key is to understand that the user is really the person. The user is really the person or stakeholder who lies at the center of your digital progression, your digital acceleration, your innovation. This customer is the in thing. I'm going to speak about COVID-19 on few slides, and then like I said, I don't intend to finish my slide. So the engagement in the COVID era, the intent migration to digital technology is driven by the pandemic, will continue into the recovery. Post-pandemic, everything is changing, and you have to align yourself to the change. The regime of COVID-19 pandemic, alongside an awareness of what needs to be achieved, is a critical factor in the solution that we are going to be creating. And creating portability and operational independence for applications and data becoming recognized as the fastest and most future-proof path to building a platform for digital information transformation today. Now, one thing that's very critical to whatever you're going to do is data. The biggest incentive for startup entrepreneurs is data. You have to work with data. How do you gather information, market information, customer information? You have to be realistic with the information that you are gathering for you to operate and create the product or services that will fly. If data is a window into digital economy, traditional businesses are living in a black hole, and that's the reality. Look at what massive impact that people are making through social media, through the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Even though some people seem to have problems with Twitter in Africa, in Nigeria especially, but it's not stopping anybody. It's not stopping engagement. People are engaging, and they're making massive improvement. They're making massive improvement. Movement are being shifted from analog, and emancipation have moved to because of the rise of digital. And then internet connectivity have empowered the physical borders and removing physical borders and shrinking every one of us together in one whole space. The social media wave has impacted productivity and service in such a way that wherever you are, that you can communicate with anybody all over the world at an instant. You can contribute in a discussion. You can create an headline in a content anytime, wherever you are in the world. And then the world of mobile technology have moved us beyond whatever can stop us. So it's so key that we realize and understand how these things are. Digital acceleration is the future. AI is here. You hear of Siri, of Apple. You hear of Alexa, of Amazon. You have different AI platforms being created now. and it will not stop. Internet of Things, objects that have scanners and being connected are sharing information with each other. You have phones that can tell how your movement of your body is if you're doing exercise. You have wristwatch that can tell your body temperature. So things are going fast. Remote working is the in thing now. You don't have to open an office somewhere to start the work of your idea. You can start right in your house. Then there is digital adoption. The process of digital adoption is central to digital acceleration and transformation. It is very, very key for us to come to that table of disruption, of ideas, of our strategy, of our plans, of whatever we want to do. You can look at any market, any industry, and look at what they are not doing well. And fintech, look at what the banks were not doing well. They pulled AI and they worked on it and see what they are doing today. So you can get into any industry or any sector and start small, but be ready to move fast. Take advantage of the limitless opportunity and then make your work available. Don't think about output alone. Think about products, the commercial value chain that will bring solution to the people, what the customer is willing and able to buy. And so I will end this on the what I call the litmus test called availability. You have to be available. Availability is the litmus test for responsive and responsible innovative disruption, and for any idea at all, which gives a credible answer to Mero's challenge of complexity facing many businesses and organizations today, and even individual. You must be available. You must be available with your idea. You must be available with your product. You have to take it away from your creative faculty and put it in the system, into your laptop, into your desktop, and then take it away from your desktop and make it alive to customers. The skill of availability is a framework for success. Hence, your business's great customer service will remain a great nothing if you do not make it available to the customer when she or he needs it most. Your IT infrastructure or digital transformation program will amount for nothing, a failed disruption, if it's not available to the customer who needs it. You need to make yourself available. The one that is not available, when you are not available, will go for the one that is available and will desire it. So please, if you have any question, please put it up, and then the question can go forward and I've asked. So in conclusion, staying consistent with the information flow and digital acceleration. We live in a world where speed is king. Speed is king. Speed is king. And nothing is certain anymore. The fast lane has become the only lane. What will separate the winners from losers will not be the brilliance of the strategic plan. It will be the way a company or an individual organizes and motivates themselves or their people in line with the every means of digital approach to things. We need to create, manage, disrupt, and reimagine the overall network that assembles value and skill and skill and skill. The web lifestyle through information flow and creative disruption enhanced by digital acceleration can increase citizen involvement, even in government. You hear of the Sorosoke platform, how people they engage the government of Nigeria. It happened in Tunisia at the time. It happened in Egypt, and it's happening in Nigeria. A lot of things are happening through people's engagement. And so even politicians are being careful now. We must develop entirely new ideas about organization and control and sustainability. Disruption enabled by digital acceleration operate with anti-complacency tools and models that create resilience and fast-changing moments of actions and reactions in the marketplace. We need to use all these tools, social media channels, automated customer service, seamless e-commerce platform, analytical and reporting, tailor-made user recommendations, and make the most use of the internet. You must make use of the internet. Take advantage of the tools available. Take advantage of the tools available. Can I hear everybody say that? Can you unmute and say, take advantage of the tools available? Can you unmute and say, take advantage of the tools available?
Take advantage of the tools available.
Take advantage of the tools available.
I'm going to take
advantage of the tools available.
You have no choice. It is an existential call. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Please let's appreciate our speaker. Let's appreciate our speaker. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So for the questions we have for Mr. Taiwo, we would like to personally deliver it to him
Okay.
so that we can answer the questions on our social media pages.
Okay.
That way we can go right to the next speaker.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure. Well done for the great work you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Ms. Simi, please introduce our next speaker, Dr. Chinasa Elu. Thank you, Ma.
Good morning. Should I go ahead and get started?
Just a minute, please. I'm supposed to introduce you officially. Ms. Simi,